I'm a 194 cm guy. Should I do anything different to my gear compared to tuning of a 170 guy? Well, that's a pretty good question to get into general trim of your equipment. I'm riding the boom pretty much here. I mean, generally, what influences the overall trim of the board is pretty much your size and the boom height you ride, where you place the mast foot, and that influences a lot the way the board sits on the water. So if you ride the mast foot, the boom, pretty much where I ride it, it's kind of a neutral position, and I would plug the mast base pretty much in the middle of the board, and that would put the board in a pretty neutral position for planing and turning. If I want to turn better, I move the mast foot a little bit back. If I'm sailing more onshore, having the tracking and the early planing, I move it a little forward. Now, if you're tall and you move the boom up, probably ride it here as a 95 guy, the percentage of area that you have above the boom compared to what you have below the boom is now different. What that does is the power that your mast creates onto the board is different as well. It's less. If you ride the boom very far down, the physics are a bit different. There's more area above the boom, and that's pushing the sail down a bit more, and also the board pushes the board more in. So if you ride the boom higher, your board would generally come up a little bit in the nose. So you could actually move the mast foot a tiny little bit forward to get a similar position of your board in the water than compared to a guy who is smaller, who is riding the boom lower. If you're a very small guy, you ride the boom down here, you do the opposite. You can actually ride the mast foot a little bit further back compared to a tall guy to get a similar feeling to the board. So it really depends on your various settings. Of course, Victor is taller than I am. He's also doing something to his stance. A small guy would put the stance closer together.
Yeah, like for example, me, I put the stance the maximum way as possible. If you are a taller guy, like I'm 183, or if you are taller, I would recommend that, because otherwise you're gonna be too straight on the board, and everything is gonna be more nervous when you are sailing. And riding also the straps like that, you're gonna feel like more control when it's really, really windy, because you are lower on your stance, and also for wave riding, you're gonna put more rail in the water.
Then for a smaller guy, on the other hand, I would recommend to ride the back foot all the way in the last insert, because you're generally a little bit lighter and you want to be able to turn the board. So that's easier if your back foot is a little bit further on the tail. So in that case, I would move the front strap a little bit back to have a more narrow stance that suits your size.